Hello and welcome to Curdcast, the podcast for people who like to eat cheese. I'm your host, Jen Mason, and with me is my ever wonderful, ever delightful, ever happy to eat cheese co-host, Julie Faifan Balzer. Hello, Julie. How are you?
Hello. I feel it necessary to point out that we didn't purposely coordinate our teal and orange outfits. That
We
just
didn't.
accidentally
I did
happened.
purposely coordinate the earrings that you made that I
And you're
acquired
rocking out. That looks so
this
good on
summer.
you.
And because I thought
Mhm.
maybe you'll be in front of your background and then we would match. But I'm loving that we coordinated today.
Right?
I'm so excited for this podcast. I think I'm always excited for a podcast because I get to eat cheese with you. But the reason I'm excited is because once again, this theme was from one of our employees, Erica, who is she keeps, this is a secret, everybody. She keeps a running list of possible themes. Like whenever she has one, she like has this little list. She's our operations person. She's just so on top of it. She's what makes me look good if I look good. It's not her fault if I look bad, but she's just on top of everything. So she keeps this little running list, and then every once in a while, we're like, oh, it's like we just planned the 2023 themes, and she pulls them out, but they are not all serious themes. Some of them are pretty funny, and some of them are not repeatable. But it makes us laugh every year. Maybe we'll have like a private private podcast sometime where people have to sign a non-disclosure agreement. We'll tell them some of the other ones, but she came up with this idea all in the family, and I was really excited. We had to do our research to find companies that were family run, so husband and wife, mother and son, father and daughter, sisters, whatever. That's what we were looking for. So it's just kind of fun to look at food, and the story behind this is, I mean, it does have what we pick things together that would go together, but the idea has nothing to do with how these things taste. It has to do with our story today, and magically they all taste well together. So maybe, eating with family should always be a tasty, delightful treat. I don't know. That's what I'm saying today. So I'm really excited. And
Because all
yeah,
in the family can mean so many things, and I wasn't sure what the theme was going to be. So it's family-run businesses. It's not that these are somehow all related or like makers that came from the same family or something.
no, exactly. And it's really interesting. We'll talk about the families a little more than we talk about the products this time, because that's what the story is about. And we have everything from, multi-generational to a mom retiring and daughters taking it over. We have like a really great collection of what it means to run a family as a business. Our business, Curds & Co., our store, is essentially family run. I run the day-to-day, but Matt, my husband, who's been on this podcast, helps. And at the very beginning, my daughters both worked in the store. They work whenever I need them. They're always there to help. They're off from college, back in college, getting their master's. So it's a different thing, but it's kind of an odd thing these days. Back 100 years ago, a lot of people went into the family business. Sometimes it was because you just apprenticed with your dad, or for lots of different reasons, but it's something we don't see as often. So it's great to see it in like beautiful products that we're going to eat today. So we should get started. So I want you to try our first cheese while I tell everybody what we're doing here. So the first one we're going to have is the Unique. And
Which rind is that? I'm knowing I have the rinds.
Yes. So the Unique has the red rind. Got it? Okay. So for those of you who just happened in here and you're like, what the heck are we doing? So Julie and I are eating through this month's Curdbox. Curdbox is it's a cheese eating experience that we ship to your door every month. It's 3 cheeses and 3 pairings. They all revolve around a theme. This month's theme being All in the Family. And we just sort of taste through them. I tell you a little bit more. Julie asks the great questions that hopefully you're thinking, and I try to answer them as best I can. And we just talk about what we like, what's pairing, and hopefully you'll get some insights, even if you're not eating a Curdbox along with us. But if you want to eat a Curdbox along with us, you can go to curdbox.com and subscribe and get your box. You can eat along with us in December and beyond. Okay, so
Is this a red rind?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. It was sorry, it was like purple to, I'm trying to remember what the rind color was. Yes.
I only because the other two are unqualifiedly not red, so I just was like, this must be it.
Mm-hmm. So this first cheese is called Unique. It is a sheep's milk cheese. You may remember, if you've listened to us in the past, that a sheep's milk cheese is going to be a little more salty because the milk just is. This is a Gouda-like cheese, and this is made by Central Coast Creamery. So our family here is the husband and wife team of Reggie and Kelly Jones. They were high school sweethearts, so Colin went out for the high school sweethearts representing in this box. Reggie had a degree in or still has a degree in biological sciences. And Kelly was a Cal Poly graduate and a former pharmacist. So they opened this business. They had sort of this dream of starting their own business. It's named Central Coast Creamery because it's along the coast in Robles, California. Robles. I think it's Robles, but
sounds like
yeah. So this is Reggie's own unique recipe, but it is Gouda-like. It has some caramel, butterscotch. It finishes clean, and I think I love the saltiness of this. Like this would be great on a board that also had like chocolate on it.
Yeah, it also has a really nice texture.
Mm-hmm.
It's somewhere between firm and soft.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like it kind of falls apart in your mouth instead of kind of like mushing in your mouth. I don't know how else to describe it, but it really has an interesting texture too. I can see it like on a cracker with a little bit of jam. I can see it mixed definitely with meat. I feel like it would pair really well.
I agree. It's just really
vaguely fruity.
I could see everybody liking it. Yeah, but it's not at all neutral. Like it has its own personality.
Yeah.
So it's not neutral, but it's like the person who gets along with everybody and not just like goes along with everybody.
Right. Not neutral, but a good mixer.
Yes, exactly. So beautiful cheese, sheep's milk. This is pasteurized, which is a little bit why the flavor sort of quickly, I would say like it quickly clears the palate more than a raw milk cheese would. Not a problem. Raw milk and pasteurized milk cheeses are both delicious, but sometimes a sheep's milk cheese, if it's raw, it would stay longer. Sometimes it will stay longer on the palate and maybe get a little gamey, which some people don't like. This is beautiful, clean. I really like this. This is a 4-month-old cheese. It's got some nice texture for being 4 months old, and vegetarian rennet. So just other information that comes from California. Our next one we've actually had in the box before, Womanchego. And this one is made by Cato Corner Farm. This is 3 to 5 months. And this is our yellowest cheese. I've got this cut into little squares or rectangles.
Is it the one with the yellow rind or the one with like the pale?
The pale.
Or brownish rind?
The pale.
Okay.
The bright yellow is the more crumbly.
Okay.
If you tried cutting it, it crumbled more. Okay. So this is cow's milk. This is in about the same age range. Totally different. Obviously, it's a different kind of milk. Let's first talk. This comes from Connecticut, and it was a mother-son duo that founded the farm, and it's got some hints of fruit. Some, they claim fresh grass. Every batch you have is going to taste a little different. I'm getting so much umami on this one, almost like. To me, it's sometimes umami can be like, it tastes like brothy, like chicken broth. This one to me tastes almost like the equivalent, the cheese equivalent. I'm not saying it tastes exactly like this, but when you get the brown bits stuck in a pan when you're cooking, and when you can get those up, that layer that just sort of adds that extra something, the extra umami. It's like the cheese version of that. It's just like it's sort of, you can't say what it tastes like. It just tastes like more better.
It definitely has
elevated.
like an acid after kick, sort of sour creamy, and like you definitely like in your mouth afterwards. It has that acid feeling, which is nice.
Yeah. Excellent. So these guys have been in business together for over 20 years, which is great. It's mom Liz and son Mark. They basically did this, and a lot of farmers have done this. If they started out as a dairy farm, what we pay for milk, some of this is subsidized depending where they are, what the federal government is doing at the time. But turning milk into cheese is a way to make more money, sort of per gallon for your cheese. So it's a way to help be more, I'm going to say sustainable. I mean, economically sustainable, not environmentally sustainable, which it could be as well. But that's not exactly what I'm talking. When they started, they had 13 cows, and now they have over 100.
Wow.
They milk about 45 cows twice a day, and because not all the cows are milking at the same time. So that's an interesting thing. If people didn't know that, it's a cow is an easier animal to set up their breeding or year round. So you can always have a certain number of cows doing that. Sheep are really hard to do that too, because they do that too. It's just when you give them their dates with the other sheep. But their hormones, their whatever it is that that makes them ready to mate and such, has a lot to do with the sun, how much sun they're getting in the day and stuff. So they'll have to, possibly put them in an area that has, a roof. So it could still be open and outside, but it's darker because it's got something covering the sky. It all depends.
So sheep have to be like sad and depressed and in the dark in order to mate. Is that what you're saying?
No, I mean, I think no, not just to reset their thinking schedules. It's really interesting. When I moved to Texas, I found you also have to do this to tulips. So you can't grow tulips in Texas like you do up here in the north, because tulips have to freeze for like 6 weeks at least for it to reset the tulips. So in Texas, you just buy a pot of already growing tulips, you put them in the ground like an annual, and you take them back out. And it was like the silliest thing I ever saw when they were doing this. And they're like, oh, they don't live. They won't come back. I mean, occasionally some might come back if you have a cold enough, but
I mean, global warming is going to make tulips in Texas a thing.
Global warming and sheep under cover, and not just like sitting out in the sun. I don't know. But so it is definitely harder. Farms that make sheep's milk cheese do a whole bunch of other things with their cheese. They pick which time of year they're going to age their cheeses so that they're still working on their cheese, even though they can't do sort of the year-round thing like cows, milk, dairy, creamery farms can do. Okay, so our last cheese is by Marique. This is the 1,000-day reserve. This is a Gouda. It's not just Gouda-like. It is a Gouda.
Tasty.
Wow.
Oh my God. Talk about umami, mouth feeling.
That texture and the
greens. Oh,
right?
CB, I love it.
Yeah, it's really great. Again, roughly the same. This is more so 1,000 days divided by 365. So we're looking at, around 3 years. So this could be the younger of the three, but in general, this about the same age. Sometimes we have cheeses that are like 4 weeks old, and we have cheeses that are 5 years old, and these three cheeses are all about the same, but really shows you what a recipe, what those cultures are, how it matters, how small they cut up the curds, all the different things that we've talked about on this podcast can really affect this. So Marique is a husband-wife duo. And Marique, I really should say a wife-husband duo, because Marique is just an amazing woman doing amazing things with this. She and her husband Rolf moved to Wisconsin in 2002, and Marique's won the Wisconsin Outstanding Young Farmer Award in 2015, and she was the first woman to ever win it. This is a cheese that is brined for like 60 hours. Brining it is similar to how you brine a turkey. It's a salty water. They get a little bath. They can flip over. They sort of float, interestingly enough. Cheese floats in water. and that's how you get your saltiness. I love
Do
the
all
mouthfeel on
cheeses float in water?
the ones that are brined that way. Some the salt goes into the curd. Some get a salt sprayed
Mhm.
on it. Some there's all different
Interesting.
ways to salt your cheese. So
Well, this
I
is
mean,
so
I have it.
lovely. I really like
Mm,
this cheese. I want to eat this cheese all day with lots of stuff.
it
But it is
really
very
is.
also it also reminds me of really good chocolate in the sense that like sometimes you just get overwhelmed because it's such a strong
Hmm.
flavor that you're like, oh, I want to eat all this chocolate. And then you're like, oh, I can't, I
Yeah,
need something else. This is so strong, but I want
yeah.
more.
It's a beautiful cheese that benefits from great pairings, so that you
Mhm.
can keep that cleanse the palate, make you enjoy it in a different way. Which leads us right into our beautiful pairings today. So I think we should start with our salami whips. I have cut mine into sensible small shapes.
I have not even opened my package
Oh, all right.
yet.
You might need scissors. I tried to pull and I couldn't pull. So while you're opening that,
Yes.
so it looks very much like it's going to be like Slim Jim, like a tougher sort of jerky stick, but it is not. This is the picante. They make it in different flavors. But it's got a nice like sort of back of the throat tang, and not like make it so I can't taste anything on my tongue anymore. So this is made by Pillars, also under the name Black Castle. So this is one where we've got our multi-generational. So in 1957, this company started with Wilhelm Huber and George Pillar, and they opened a small butcher shop
Oh
in
my God.
Canada. Right? It's just fun. It's so much fun, which is why I cut it into small pieces. For those of you listening to the podcast, she just held up one of the. This is a very long. It's a whip. It's a long piece of salami, of
It's like
thin
an arm
salami.
length long, like not a
It is.
joke. Like it makes Twizzlers look short.
It's salami rope.
Yeah.
And after about 2 years after starting this, Wilhelm brothers, Edward and Heinrich, purchased George Pillars, and so then it became 100% family owned. They expanded over time. In 1985, they did a big expansion, and again in 2021. It's just like interesting to see how this thing and the original, there's descendants of the three original Huber brothers are still involved in the business, so it still to this day remains a family business. um and and what do you think of the salami?
It's great. The smell when I opened the package was
Hmm.
amazing. You open it up,
Hmm.
it's so fragrant and wonderful. And then it is really fun that they're so extraordinarily long. Although I have to say, if I were going to like serve this on something, I would definitely
Yeah.
cut them down. But I can totally see like that. If it weren't quite so spicy, I would feed it to my 2-year-old, who I'm sure would be
Hmm.
like, "Whoa, this is fun." You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And unlike a jerky, it's not super. It's tough. It's like very soft and
Yeah.
nice.
And I think because I expect it to be a jerky, that I think it's even nicer. Like,
Hmm.
I really like that. And I can, no, I've got connections. I can get him some of this. It isn't picante, because I would love to
Mm.
see his face when he tries it,
When it
because it
opens
is
that
such
big
a fun
thing.
food. It's so,
It
when you
is.
just have him pull one out and like he keeps
Mhm.
pulling, and you're like, be great.
Whoa, it
So
keeps
much fun.
coming. And the
Yes.
texture, a little bit, the firmness, I would say, is similar to an olive, which is to say it's kind of
Mm,
meaty. Obviously, it's meat,
yeah. Yeah.
but
It
not,
is.
but it doesn't have like, there's not much to it in the end. Like, you're not like,
Yeah. It's
chomping
kind of
through
like
it.
a summer sausage, from the old days of Hickory Farms. Summer sausage, it probably still exists, but okay.
I don't know what a summer sausage is. I'm going
No.
to
Okay, well, you can
say
look it up
I'm
later. Summer
ignorant.
sauce is sort of the it was they still make them. I can still find them at the grocery stores, but it's like it's more tender. It's like this, but in a
Hmm,
bigger sausage side, and you would slice them up, and
interesting.
they're easy to cut. It's not like having salami, which is a tougher
Right,
texture. Not tougher,
right.
a firmer texture.
Is it a
You wouldn't
butter
eat like.
knife meat or is it a carving knife meat? That's always
It's
the
not
question.
a butter knife meat. I think you'd want to use something stronger than a butter knife, but you could eat like a half-inch piece of it, versus you
Mhm.
couldn't. You would really have to chew well to eat a half-inch piece of salami. So it's tender. And sometimes during football season, this time of year, you'll see them. They'll make them into like a football shape, so they look cute for 2 seconds on a cheese board, and then somebody eats them, and you don't know that it was a football shape. So don't pay extra for football shaped people. Only the first 2 people at the party who came too early are going to see it. You don't want to reward them for
Just put a
showing up
note
early.
that says this was football shaped.
Yeah. Just eat this and enjoy the game is what you should say. All right. So so next we're going to go into our I love this cranberry compote. It's a cranberry jalapeno, but the jalapeno is not, don't let the jalapeno scare you.
What's a compote versus a jam or a jelly?
Good question. Well, this one is very much from I don't know the exact definition, but I've always known compotes sort of be cooked down fruit. So like the cranberry jelly that's not coming out of the solid out of the can, it's just sort of it's not meant to be spread on toast per se. It's meant to be poured over something or served with something like with a meat. It's not necessarily savory, but is served with savory, and is just sort of like cooking down fresh fruit. Sometimes you do a fruit compote where they cook down some blackberries and strawberries and serve it over.
So does it not have pectin in it?
I think it would. I don't know if it does. That's a good question. I don't have the jar in front of me.
Oh, I do. I guess I could look. It does have pectin in it, but pectin's the last ingredient as opposed to so
they probably are putting a little bit in just to keep it, for shelf. But I would bet if you looked in a recipe book just to make like a compote for over ice cream, it's like different. So like you can't really imagine putting jam over ice cream. But you
honey, I can imagine putting jam over a lot of things.
Okay.
Ice cream is fun.
But a jam could be more too solid to do it, and a compote should sort of be a pour. So it's kind of like a fruit sauce, but not saucy. It's not a puree. It's somewhere in between.
Not gelatinous is what you're saying.
Not gelatinous, but I should definitely look that up, and I'll let you know. I'll send you a text.
Excellent.
But this one, it's nice. It has jalapeno in it, but to me, the jalapeno, I think the salami is spicier than the.
I was going to say, after eating the picante and it's in my mouth, I actually had a piece of cheese as a palate cleanser to try to get some of that out, because I'm not sure I can taste the jalapeno as clearly as I would.
Yeah, the jalapeno is actually spicy, very green. So it tastes, which is what I love about all of the compotes that they make. It's like you're not really getting, there's a little bit of warmth from the jalapeno, but mostly I'm getting that fresh green.
Yeah.
This like real vegetables were put into this sweet and fruity cranberry sauce. I just think it's a really nice twist. I really wanted to put this in here though too, so that you'll all have a hard time deciding if you want to finish eating it with this box or if you want to save it and have it with some leftover turkey, because I think this would make a turkey sandwich. I'm not the first person to have a turkey sandwich with cranberry sauce on it, but I like the jalapeno in here. Just like takes it up a notch.
Spark it up. I think sometimes when I have like that leftover Thanksgiving sandwich with like stuffing and turkey and everything, like it does need that kick. And this feels like you would get that little extra something.
Yeah. This would reimagine it. Something you already love, reimagined. Excellent. Okay. And so this is made by Janet's Finest. So this is our company that is now being run by the daughters. So this started on a small Minnesota farm. It's made in Minnesota. And it's now run by the founder's 2 daughters. Janet retired in 2018, and Jessica and Angela took over the business. And they're still handcrafted, made in small batches. And, our kudos to the team from Janet's who reached out to us and said, we would love to be in your box. And we have just been looking for the perfect opportunity, and the people at Janet's understood that. And it's so great to be able to showcase this compote. So I know they're listening to this podcast. Guys, this is great. I hope you sell out of all of this for Thanksgiving, and you don't know when you're going to get it back in because everybody wiped out you and all the cranberries in the world. But it's really delicious. It's really fantastic. I would keep this in my pantry. I'd keep it in my refrigerator, but I would keep this as a staple because it's while cranberries do go good with turkey, I could imagine this maybe stuffed in a chicken breast with some fresh cheese, some Boursin like cheese or something. I think it's bright. It's the thing that's going to go. I just can't wait to try this
I'm
with the
going everything
Marie.
bagel with cream cheese and this on top.
Everything. It's just a really great, and it's just not boring. It's which is, our hashtag, stop eating boring. This is something that will elevate, and you'll forget like for a week that it's in the fridge, and they'll be like, oh wait, I have that really great. And you should check out their other flavors too. We'll give you their clues. It's clues. It's a mystery. You have to find them. We'll give you their information at the end.
It'll be a scavenger hunt.
Exactly. So anyways, Jessica, Angela, and Janet have just done amazing things over there. I love that the second generation is carrying this on. And then our last family business is we've had them with a different flavor in our box before. This is Asha Pops. This is the vegan cheese Asha Pop. It's lovely that they're vegan, but the rest of our box isn't, so it doesn't really matter to us. What matters is that it's delicious. And I would tell people out there, even if you're not a vegan, if you see anything, it's usually the vegan items you'll see that when they do like a vegan cheese, it's usually delicious. Like what they need to put into the flavoring of these to make it it's usually some sort of delicious, special combination of things. And I just think it's like grown-up version of cheesy covered popcorn.
Yeah. These water lily seeds are so good, and they use, I can see from the ingredients on the bag, they use the nutritional yeast, which is the thing that makes it taste cheesy.
So good. Anything with nutritional yeast, I'm a fan of, and I'm really glad this happened a long time ago. I don't shy away from things that are vegan, but I also don't, because I love a good vegetable, which is very vegan.
Yeah.
But sometimes they're more expensive or whatever, and I am happy to eat the real thing. But nutritional yeast, I was turned on to that by eating some vegan cheese popcorn, I think. But
to be fair, I've been to some truly excellent vegan restaurants, and I think it's usually vegan baked goods that get me going in the wrong direction. But I like a lot of vegan savory foods.
It's for me, it's missing the dairy, and it's a problem. But I love everything else that needs to go into it. I'm always I like to have the original thing that I'm having when I can. But to each his own, and I know lots of people are doing this for different reasons. They're probably not doing this box, but if they are, you have somebody vegan in your family and they haven't been able to participate, they can eat the jam, and they can eat these, and they'll eat them all. So maybe don't tell them.
There you go.
Because I wouldn't want to share these. So this is a mother and son duo. Comes out of Los Angeles, California, in case you thought.
It's interesting. We've had a lot of mother and son duos, which I feel like is unusual in business, because I think like it gets said either like mother to daughter or father and son, which is stupid, but
right.
Interesting.
Yeah. Agreed. It's very interesting. So Asha and Jai's the son, and they grew up having these. This is a sort of a standard Indian snack, just the lily pops. The lily seeds are popped. And they were making them for friends and family, and they encouraged them to start selling them at farmers markets, and eventually this was born. It's so funny to see this. I've seen a few different brands of these. I would totally recommend you try them all, because they all have different flavors and they're all delicious, and I like to have as many flavors as I can. But I like them because they remind me of popcorn, but I don't get popcorn stuck in my teeth.
Oh yeah. That's a good point. And also, like, people who have diverticulitis and stuff can't eat popcorn. Yeah. And little kids can't eat popcorn. You're not supposed to have popcorn until you're 4.
But I'm way past 4, so I can't have it. But I wish the movie theater would make this. Could just make Asha Pops for Asha. Asha Pops. You talked about making a big, giant bucket size. So we are now at the point where we can taste everything together. And really, I think this is, again, one of our plates where sort of just rotating through everything is the way to do this.
Go through the cheeses in the order that we had them. There was the unique first, right?
Yep, unique.
Then we had the
now I'm like blanking on my head there. The Womanchego
The
by Cato
Womanchego,
Corner Farm.
and then
And
the
then
Marike.
Marike Gouda, the 1,000-day Marike. I am going to try. I've been dying to have, I mean, I've tried this all a while ago when we picked this out, but trying to have this again, the Marike and the cranberry.
I'm going Marike and Picante Salami Whip. Tasty.
I mean, I don't think we're going to have a bad bite on this box.
Agreed. Now I'm going to try the Womanchego with the compote. Let's see. Oops. That was delicious too. This is one of those boxes.
Yeah, the salami was good.
So well. Yum.
Well, wait till you see what we have in store for 2023. We are so psyched with our new themes coming up. The best part of our entire year is when we get to plan them. Whole team comes together. We listen to the not safe for work, or really they're safe for work. They're not that kind. They're more like nobody would want to eat that box, but we're like, they're play on words and stuff. So
the garbage box.
That kind of idea.
Although technically, I have to say, one of the products that Curdbox introduced me to was the guy who makes the crackers and stuff from the leftovers from like the beer and stuff like that.
Yes. Yeah. I think
and I think there's a lot of products like that, probably.
Made good. Yeah. It's I love the box. I love making the box as much because so now we come up with a theme. Sometimes we like have this idea of, we want to use this product. Like we've been keeping an eye out for a way we could use Janet's Finest. And so sometimes that will spark an idea, but sometimes we just have this idea and we're like, oh, we know we can fill it, but we have to now go in and find all those cheeses and hope supply chain doesn't throw us for a doozy, 2 minutes before we're going to ship them and something still doesn't show up or stuck on a boat or stuck in customs so I love that everybody has been so patient and understanding when we have to sub something in. I mean, quite frankly, it's because we always sub something in equal or better whenever we have one of these last minute substitutions. But it's just so much fun to come up with the themes and then figure out how we're going to fulfill those themes for you. And every time we're doing that, we're delighting ourselves because we can bring 6 different makers to you, making really great things that hopefully you'll try again. Or try other flavors and such. And, we're getting to November. If you're listening to this in November, just a heads up that we have some very special. So if anybody has like a big gift to give, or maybe like the whole family is getting together to give mom and dad a gift, we are offering just for November and December that you can get a 12-month gift subscription. It doesn't renew at the end of the 12 months, but you can add on the 12. It comes with the 12-month plus. You can add on a box of 12 delicious wines from our the Italian selection. So it's a really great way to tell somebody you love them all year long next year. It is only available for sale in November and December. If you order it in November, it'll start in December. If you order it in December, it'll start in January. Just letting people know that hopefully you're not listening to this in January and wishing you can. You can still buy it for 6 months and 3 months to get the wine on add-on, but just wanted to do something special for the holidays this year, and we're enjoying working with the Italian selection, and everybody's loving his wines, their wines. It's a company, not just a person. We love the wines too. So let's tell everybody where they can find these, unless you have any last pairing thoughts, words.
No, I'm busy licking my fingers and eating everything together and having the best lunch ever.
Perfect. Well, you keep licking and I will tell everybody. So Unique, you can find out more about them at Central Coast Creamery. You can find out about the makers of Womanchego. That's Cato Corner Farm, and they're at Cato Corner Farm Cheese. And Marike and her Gouda Reserve 1,000-day. And by the way, everything that Marike makes there is fantastic. So that's at Marike Gouda. Our salami whips, you can find more about them, and you can find out about their non-picante if you also want something for the little ones. And that is at Pillars, Pillers 1957. Janet's Finest is at Janet's Finest. Perfect name for that. And definitely go check out their other flavors. The whole team loves them. We got in a fight over which flavor was our best, and then this one came out, and we're like, okay, well, this one fits in November, so this is our current favorite. But it's like saying you have a favorite child. And then the last one is our Asha Pops is at Asha Superfoods. You can find Julie at What Julie Ate, and you can follow us at Curdbox. And you can get your Curdbox at curdbox.com. And everybody have a fantastic Thanksgiving. I hope you have a lovely time with your family or friends and family, or just by yourself watching a good movie, or go out for a walk, enjoy, and eat some cheese. And we'll talk to you next month. Thanks again, Julie.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.